Welcome to Western Wisconsin Journal. I'm Bobbi Pominville, and I'm your reporter on the arts. And I guess I'm fulfilling my dream today because I finally got an opera expert here today. And we can talk about that and how it affects children and adults and all kinds of things that are available in the St. Croix Valley. I'm just so delighted to welcome Obed Floan to my show today. And he is the executive director of St. Croix Valley Opera. I think first time I met you was at the FIPS. But now we have other little things we do together. So he has a Bachelor of Arts in Vocal Performance from Luther College. He has a Master's in Music and Vocal Performance at the University of Minnesota. Both are just excellent programs. So welcome to the show again. And I guess I'm going to start the conversation because I always want to hear how you got to where you are right now. So if we could have a little conversation on the background of your musical journey to becoming the leader of the St. Croix Valley Opera, and then later, who is the St. Croix Valley Opera? Most of my audience probably don't know.
Well, absolutely. Thank you so much, Bobbi, for having me today. It's a real honor to be here. Appreciate it. You're welcome. Well, my history, I actually come from a family of three siblings, 4 kids total. My father was a Lutheran pastor. My mom was a piano teacher. And we were a very musical family. And so we kind of performed quite a bit, doing a lot of things as like the Osmond family, kind of singing in church basements and other community areas where we were. And I always had the big voice that they always told me to say, use your house voice, it's too loud. And that was just part of what my upbringing was when we were working together as a family, performing and doing some different things musically. And we ended up moving down near Decorah, Iowa when I was in junior high and started taking voice lessons at the college up the street when my choir director in high school said, I've taught you everything I know. I recommend you go and start studying with the faculty member up the road. So I would take voice lessons every week in high school and ended up just continuing my path at Luther College and focused on trying to perform when at a time where they didn't really have a performance major degree program at Luther. It was an educational, they were really excited about their 98% placement rate at the time of music educators in schools around the country. And I just was trudging my own path along the way. And then moved up here to Twin Cities, like I said earlier, 98% of all Luther grads do, and performed with the Minnesota Chorale and Dale Worland Singers and a number of different church jobs that I had and just trying to make a go of it. Studying privately as well, all along with teachers in the Twin Cities. And then I met my now wife, and she was graduating from college in the area as well around the same time, just before 9/11 happened, and we were dating long distance. She went out to Philadelphia to study with a teacher that her teacher in college recommended to study with, so she moved out there, and we were doing the long distance thing, and then about 9/11 happened, and I said, life's too short. It's time to really take the bull by the horns and find my path as well. So I actually went out there to the East Coast, and within a year we were married and working up and down the East Coast, taking lessons with private teachers, master teachers, and singing with different opera companies up and down the East Coast. And that's when my late bloomer voice came into my own, and I discovered my path vocally. And it's kind of a rare, unique path. It's the big, long, thick Wagnerian performances, and we don't do much of that here in the Midwest. So it was something that my wife and I always knew 20 years ago when we did get married. We said wherever we settle down after having a performing career, we always wanted to start our own company and give back to the community. And when we came back after a few years out east, we decided to get our master's degrees at the University of Minnesota. So we moved back home here and did that. And then I took a job after graduating that program down in Oklahoma City at Oklahoma City University. So I taught on the voice faculty of Oklahoma City University at Performing Arts College for 5 years. And so I cut my teeth teaching musical theater, which was my first love before I discovered I had this big voice in high school and started pursuing opera.
Yeah.
And so it kind of brought me back to really working with both genres and seeing the connection and the passion with students that can relate to the American tradition as well as the old opera tradition. And after 40 students a week teaching at OCU, I loved my students, but 5 years was as much as I could kind of take of that kind of schedule. And my wife's family was dealing with some health issues up in Forest Lake, where she's from. So we moved back up to help out with them, and I had agents. I was performing in Germany, flying over to Europe and working some different places and that kind of thing. And when we came back here, we decided that, you know, we may be seeing that chapter where we settle down, stop living out of the suitcases, and put some roots down. And when we were in our master's program back in the University of Minnesota, while we were here before moving to Oklahoma, I reached out to a colleague of mine, a friend who was the head of the voice program at Stillwater High School, Doc, who was the grandson of Epimelius Christensen.
Yes.
And
I
I knew him.
That
and
is.
he hired me through the community ed program to teach voice lessons at Stillwater. And we just realized just how much wonderful talent this whole area, this region has. Just such a plethora of wonderful, talented people and kids coming through programs. And his very first student that he assigned me was a young sophomore by the name of Jack Swanson, who some people in this area might know. Jack
I've
Swanson
heard the name.
is out performing everywhere now.
Yes.
I was his voice teacher in high school while I was getting my master's at the U.
Oh, my.
And so I worked with him, and as we were discussing just a few minutes earlier about, you know, finding students, and when the student's ready, the teacher will appear, that old saying. He was just a joy to work with. He was one of those that you just sprinkle water and he takes it and runs with it, comes back the next week, is fully memorized and has all sorts of musical nuance and everything. So it was just a great time to work, you know, with him and help guide him to college and that kind of thing. And we've stayed in touch, and to the point where now that we've started St. Croix Valley Opera, it was something he always wanted to have in his backyard where he was growing up too. So he's actually our creative advisor, and the three of us, my wife, myself, and Jack, got together and we started St. Croix Valley Opera, which at the time we called Opportunity Theater. We tried to find a catchy name for the company. And so we started with our first flagship program now that is our annual major event is Opera on the River in Stillwater.
Yes, of
so
course.
we did a variety concert of opera's greatest hits and musical theater's favorites and stuff that people would recognize, so that it's very accessible for everybody in the community. And it's a free concert. And it was something that kicked everything off. And we just wanted to give back to this community. So we started that in 2019 was our first year, August of 2019.
Yes.
And we've done every year since, even with the pandemic. We went private in 2020 when the pandemic hit, and we did it out of a private residence, and we live streamed it in Valley Access Channel, the sister cable station here in Stillwater, and we did that live.
Yes.
And NPR picked that up, and they promoted it, and we had all sorts of companies that were watching it live. We expanded nationwide to have a lot of our larger opera company colleagues kind of turning heads saying, how did you guys pull that off during the pandemic?
Really?
But we really connected with a lot of people, and that really kind of kicked off some nationwide recognition with what we've been trying to do here in the Valley. So we're really excited about that.
That is amazing. Oh my goodness, so you're the man. You and your wife and Jack Swanson.
Yeah.
I heard that name.
Yeah.
So I think that is genius.
Oh, thank you. It's
and
been a dream
the
of
fact
ours.
that you got it to go during the pandemic even.
It was a lot of pivoting, very difficult, but we were really working with the community and the state. You know, when everything was locked down, we were able to do that. We did it very safely and had all the social distancing and broadcast it right from a private residence overlooking the downtown Stillwater, so we could see the valley and the river and keep that whole on the river theme going. So.
I saw the media on it. Okay, so congrats to you for that.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm so glad I found out about that. And of course, you can tell us even more. But now your new ambitious thing, well, maybe it's not new, because you're doing it in Stillwater, I think, is called Figaro for Kids. Well, that would be for students in grades 3 through 5?
Yes. Yep.
Yes. Now, how did that come about?
Well, we knew, starting with the company, that we right away would have to try to start launching educational programming. And a big part of our mission, not only for helping emerging professionals advance their careers, would be to connect with the community, which is why we're a nonprofit. And we want to make sure that we're connecting with the community at large. And interestingly enough, we started out calling ourselves Opportunity Theater, like I think I mentioned.
Yes.
And we ended up having a group from Augsburg, MBA program. They did a 5-year plan study report for us. And part of that was kind of a name change to make sure that we were connecting with the community that we wanted to serve even more directly. And in that name change, we were thinking about it as well. Stillwater Opera, St. Croix, what kind of thing. And the number one pick was what we have, St. Croix Valley Opera. So we ripped the Band-Aid off and did it right away our second year. And changed our name and to connect. And by doing that, we knew that we wanted to launch our educational programming. And so Jack actually brought to us a script that he did with an outreach program with a company in Italy that he was performing with last year, and said this would be the perfect way to get started trying to connect with the community. We wanted to go into the schools, because I remember the biggest inspiration I had was when these professional groups would come into schools and we'd have the assemblies.
Oh, yes,
back in the day, and you'd see, the different professionals coming and sharing what they do and talking about it with the kids.
Yes.
And it was really inspirational. I have so many colleagues that have expressed the same kind of experience, that it wasn't until somebody came in and really, lit that fire for them when they were kids.
Yes.
And that's what we're hoping to do in this community is
Yes.
and go in and support the teachers and all the hard work that they're doing in the schools and work with them. So we want to build a program that hopefully could turn into an annual type of outreach scenario that we can go into the schools year after year.
Yes, that is wonderful. But now, how can schools get involved, like Hudson or someone else in the valley? I think you're based, right now you have a program going in Stillwater.
Well, we've actually connected with a number of schools in the area, and we're working with people all the way from Marine. We'd like to get farther north because of our name being both sides of the river, St. Croix Valley Opera.
That's right.
We'd like to work, so we've connected with Hudson, a few teachers in the Hudson School, thanks to you and some references you've helped us with.
Yes, oh, definitely.
We've actually connected with somebody out in Hammond with St. Croix Central. And we're with somebody on the board there who was wanting, how do we bring this out here? This is a great program. We'd like to do this. So they're working in their community to try to put things together so that we can come and do that there. I think I mentioned Marine. And another one in Oakdale, I believe. So we're constantly, anybody that's interested, trying to figure out how to get these schools in the valley to be on board, and so that we can connect with them. We're looking for doing a tour in the fall, about a week long, and to go into the school with a little abridged version of this that would be very easy to go right into a class period within an hour and do a little 30-minute presentation right from the script of the actual hour-long show that we're going to do at the FIPS at the end of the week for people and their parents to come and decide if they want to come, see it with their kids.
Right, and that's going to be in the summer.
Actually, that's going to be in October.
Oh, in October. Okay.
Yes.
I was thinking about, we'll get to the other thing.
Sure.
So what about community support?
Well, yeah, we have a number of different sponsorship programs that we've put together, packages, and you can find those on our website, scvopera.org.
Right.
And right under the support menu, you'll see Become a Sponsor, and you can click on there, and we've got some of the packages and some information on what different programs we have going on, and the different types of sponsorships that you can do, like a student or one of the cast members to sponsor, paying their fee, that kind of thing. So we're looking for those types of things to help us, so we don't have to lean on school systems and school districts for a lot of funding, because we know how tight that can be these days.
Yes, and then you have foundations you can tap into.
They We actually have connected in a partnership with the Twin Cities Opera Guild, who has given us a grant.
Yes, that's right.
Given us a grant to do this in the area, and they actually are really, this is the kind of program they're really interested in doing. I will say this, not to besmirch anyone else, but there's an organization out of Madison, that area, called Opera for the Young that we've known about for years.
Oh, yes,
and they
I've heard of
tour,
it.
and they pay for them to come up into the Twin Cities and perform and do their things in schools in the Twin Cities. They've expressed they're very interested and excited about having somebody in their own backyard that can build this type of program that can be from this area. And so that's our hope. Our hope is to really build this.
Good, because, you know, when I'm choosing grants with St. Croix Valley Community Foundation, many times it comes up, Opera for the Young, and we always approve it.
Oh, that's great. It's, I mean, you shouldn't.
And I think
that's
you
wonderful.
know how to connect into that with Angie Pilgrim.
Absolutely, yeah. In fact, it was interesting because the timing was when Jack brought this to us, it was the week that deadline for the music education grant with St. Croix Foundation was due. And so we and as a nonprofit,
Yes, that's right.
you know, we have to work with the teachers to apply for that program. So hopefully next year
that's true.
we'll be able to get that in
Oh,
by
I
the
hope
deadline.
you do,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I want to see this happen in
Yeah.
Hudson, and I totally support it, because I, for one, would love to have a program like this.
Oh, thank you.
When I
That's-
was teaching here and everything, and I do know sometimes teachers have a little bit of funding for something special.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot,
Right.
but
we've
you
been,
know.
yeah, we've been talking with a few, and we don't want to. We want to make sure that our program is sustainable in a way that's not always going to be leaning on those types of funding,
That's right.
resources.
Right.
So if we can try to work with people in the community to bring this together, and make that a sustainable type annual support structure, then that's our hope. Yeah.
Well, to me, this is just, we've got to have it.
Well, we're excited.
We really need
We're
it.
excited.
I'm totally in support of what you're doing.
Thank you. It's a cute little program. It's about an hour long, and it's right out of the script of Barbara of Seville. And there's a narrator that interacts with the kids. We teach them a few of the
Yes.
lines, and they interact and they sing on cue. We cue them to sing along with a few of the lines
fun.
we teach them, and have little combs and brushes and scissors,
Inspiring
that
those
they
students.
made out of cardboard or crepe paper or whatever kind of
Yeah.
thing. And
they're part of it.
They're part of it. So it
I love
really
it.
will hopefully inspire them. It's a really cute script.
Now, I was going to say, well, where on earth would you get the performers? But then I think I read
Yeah.
you're connected into the University of Minnesota.
We're working, my wife actually right now is finishing her doctorate at the university.
Yes. Oh, my
And she
goodness.
is working under the head of the opera program. So she's the TA of David Walsh
Unbelievable.
in the opera program. And he actually has joined forces with us, is excited about this kind of program.
Good.
And we're working with him, and we're right now have auditions open to cast the cast of this Figaro for Kids program.
good,
So
good.
by April 1st is our deadline. So if anybody's out there listening that would be interested in
That's
auditioning,
coming.
we're looking at 18 and up is the age of people
okay.
and it's all online submission, so they can find that on our website as well too.
Okay.
So yeah.
So, yeah, we definitely need a supportive group in Hudson, and I hope that happens
Oh,
for
thank you. We do too. We really do too.
Hoping. Now, I picked up on something else when I was reading the materials that you gave me.
Sure.
And one thing is the Summer Vocal Institute workshop.
That's another one of our educational programs
Tell
that
me
we're
about
launching.
that. That sounds so interesting.
Well, this came out of my wife and I, we've taught a private studio for 20 years since we were married and living out east. And coming back home, because this is where we're from,
Yeah.
we always dreamt of getting this kind of program going. And everywhere we went, we would do a little summer program, like a week or 2 weeks, called the Summer Vocal Institute, that we would do. And we'd customize it for the demographics of the area that we're doing that for that year. And so we've decided that we wanted to let the opera company have that. And so we're launching as a seed to what most opera companies have called a Young Artist Program, where they
Yes.
have college-age kids that are looking to have a singing career but need that next extra type of training that the degree programs they're in doesn't offer during the school year.
Exactly.
A lot of opera companies do this. It's kind of that gap between educational stage in life and having a professional career, because there's still a lot of area in there that needs
Yes.
training. And
Yes.
so we hope by starting the Summer Vocal Institute, and it's only 1 week now this year, but we hope to grow it into a multi-week program that could be a summer week summer young artist program, kind of like Des Moines Metro, their summer program. They have a 7-week program. I actually was in that. I did that years ago.
Oh.
And Santa Fe is a summer program, Glimmerglass. A lot of different opera companies around the nation have these summer programs for that age group. We call them emerging professionals. And so
there is a big gap there, and
gap.
I can see where that would be so sought after.
Absolutely.
I mean, the kids that love to sing, and back in the day, where you were like, "Oh, I'll be on stage," but you've got to get to that level,
that point,
and you have to have that education in order to be an outstanding singer.
Absolutely. Just like Minnesota Opera. That's why we're working with them. We have a lot of colleagues there. I performed with them years ago as well, and have a lot of connections. And we're trying to partner and think of ourselves kind of as a summer extension to what they do during their usual season.
Yes.
And they have their resident artist program where they have those emerging professionals that they pay a stipend to be there throughout the season, and they do the outreach programs in the community and that during their season, and maybe small roles on stage with the big leads that they hire to come in and headline the programs, the operas they do. So
now, where is that located, this Summer Institute?
This Vocal Summer Institute, we're so excited because we're building this relationship with the FIPS here in Hudson.
I love
and
it.
so we're doing the Summer Vocal Institute in Hudson in June, the week of the 13th through the 17th. And we've tied that into the Figaro for Kids program because what we're doing is we're contracting those performers that get cast in Figaro for Kids to be part of the Summer Vocal Institute. Their tuition will be free and waived, so that's an added value to the fee that we're paying them as professional artists. But we'll workshop out of the Figaro script a little 20 to 30-minute program that we're taking into the schools in the fall. So the Summer Vocal Institute is very integrally tied into the Figaro for Kids program that we're going to do in the schools and at the FIPS as a full performance in October.
I just am delighted to hear that, and I just think it's perfect for the FIPS to be involved.
Oh, we really love working there.
The location, everything is excellent.
Absolutely. Yep.
But now I'm confused on the age.
Okay.
What are the ages for that institute?
The ages for the institute, we have expanded to from 17, so juniors and seniors in high school, all the way through that emerging professional college age to 34 years of age. So it's quite a large span because we know, my wife and I both know as late bloomers and singers ourselves, sometimes when we were ready for programs like this, we were already too old.
Yeah.
So we wanted to open that up to give people in the community that are of those more mature age groups to still have opportunity to work the craft in this training program.
So high school seniors basically, and then up through, did you say 75 or 35?
34. 17 to 34. Yep.
Wow. So then how will you be connecting that into the other program?
Figaro for Kids?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, the cast will be in there, but then we have the open enrollment to anybody else who want in those age groups that follow the eligibility criteria on our website to enroll.
Right.
So they can come and participate and be a student in the program.
Okay.
But then the cast will also be a separate track going on that's working with our faculty, and David Walsh from the opera program at the University of Minnesota.
Oh, yes.
That kind of thing. He's going to be one of our faculty members, as well as a number of our colleagues in the Twin Cities that are really up there performing professionally. And and that then is where we will work a bit of that track for the Figaro for Kids program.
Okay.
Then we'll come back after Opera on the River in July, and so August, September, we'll bring the cast back together to really put the rest of the whole show together and get ready for that tour that will launch in September once school starts.
Okay, now tell me about Opera on the River. Is this on the river near Hudson?
Opera on the River
or is that in Stillwater?
Right now it's Stillwater.
That's what I thought.
And we're so excited going into our 4th Opera on the River because we've done 3 of them so far.
That's the 4th one.
Yes.
Already.
We are so excited that we've been getting some invitations from people, and our hope is to start growing it not only in Stillwater, but to start doing it at other places along the river on both sides.
So you're
like a little mini tour type thing. Now I'm saying that's all preliminary. That's not locked in, but that is our goal. That's our vision that we'd like to do is to grow that. This Opera on the River actually started as kind of a vision where if anyone's familiar with the Tanglewood organization out in Massachusetts.
I've heard of it.
Tanglewood summer program. It's a multi-week program where A-list performers descend on this little town, Tanglewood, Massachusetts, and for multi weeks in the summer, they're performing, doing workshops and master classes, concerts, and people come from all over. And it's just a great, great economic boom for the community. And that's our hope to do in the valley, is to have up and down the valley grow this into a multi-week summer program where people come from all over the world and partake in some world-class musical performances and education opportunities.
Now that means the staging would be on the river, kind of.
Well,
Like it was that other time?
Yeah, we do it in Lowell Park, right on the banks of the river. So
Yes.
what we've
Yes.
done is we've set up the stage so that it's facing north, so the length of the park could be filled up with people coming from all over. It's a free concert.
Yes.
So you come early in the morning, claim your space in the lawn, and stay there all day. And we're welcome to come and go and shop in the stores up and down Main Street
Oh,
in
yeah.
Stillwater.
Yeah.
And then the concert will start in the evening. This year, we're hoping to launch a performing arts fair, where we've asked a number of different organizations, colleges, universities, performing organizations, to come and have a booth in the park all day long, starting at 10 in the morning, up until the concert starts at 7 p.m., and then where they could maybe do some exhibition performances on the main stage throughout the day, and educate the people in the community that are coming and going about performing opportunities, scholarship opportunities in colleges and programs, grant opportunities in the arts, and educational opportunities in the arts that people might not know about.
Excellent.
So we've reached out to about 30 or 40 some organizations, whether they're colleges or performing arts organizations, to come and have a booth and be part of our performing arts fair that day.
Love it.
So
I love it. Now I'm still a little confused
Sure.
about that Vocal Institute.
Yes.
Does that mean you're going to be one of the people preparing the singers?
my wife and I this year, yes, we'll be part of the faculty teaching, because we taught a studio for 20-some years, and
Yes, oh my goodness.
we're excited with a lot of the students that we've had out of these programs that have gone on to perform in professional opera companies and Broadway companies and tours and
Heavens.
that kind of thing. So
How
we're
perfect.
going to help teach some of the lessons and coachings, and we have
Yes.
faculty that's going to teach a few classes and group type things, and yeah.
Oh, that's just, I wanted to know that because I wanted people to know when they see this interview that you would be working with that hands-on.
Absolutely. And to know that Friday night at the end of the week, there will be a performance open to the public.
Yes.
That they can come and see the work that all of the students in there have done. So there'll be some of their arias and songs and Broadway musical tunes that they're doing, and maybe even some scene work that we've worked on that week, to help them integrate in groups to work on scenes and do characters and roles and that kind of thing.
Okay, would that be at the FIPS?
That would be at the FIPS, the Friday night, at the end of the week. Yes. Yeah.
That's something I've got to put on my schedule.
Absolutely. We want everybody to come on down. We'd love to see you there, Bobbi.
Yes. Now, do you have a date for any of this right now?
Absolutely.
As far as, I don't know if it would be on the FIPS schedule, but I know it would be on the website and all that.
Yes, the Summer Vocal Institute is the week of June 13th through the 17th.
Okay.
Then something else that wasn't in there that I'm going to add to this is
Yes.
that Saturday, June 18th, will be our second annual vocal competition. We call it the Opera on the River Vocal Competition, where we're hoping to encourage emerging professionals and various people to audition, and there will be cash prizes. Our hope is to grow this into a scholarship program, because we want to encourage high schoolers looking at, going into music degree programs to find scholarship there, continuing scholarships for college-age people to go on, and even for the emerging professionals to have some cash that could help them pay for a few things as they're entering that career step. So we're hoping to grow that. I've actually spoken with some people over at the St. Croix Valley Foundation to see about what it would be to set up a scholarship program that we could partner with them to then use this competition to award that.
Excellent.
And so that'll be the 18th. And then the next thing would be Opera on the River, which is July 30th, Saturday, July 30th. We usually these first 3 years, did it the first weekend in August. We were trying to brand that first weekend in August. But it's always horrible weather. And that last weekend in July is
Remember the
usually
rain.
beautiful sunny weather. So we're moving it up a week this year to see if we can capitalize on getting the sunny weather and actually envisioning the beauty of this experience the way we would like it to be.
I hope so.
I hope so too, right? Then in September, we will do the Figaro for Kids the last week in September, hoping to get into schools that way, do a little mini tour.
Yeah.
And then the first weekend in October is the end of that week, and that's where we'll have the performances on the weekend at the FIPS.
Wow. And this could all be on your website, right?
Yep, it's all there. You can find it on scvopera.org, and
Okay.
under the events page, you'll see the various things, and then we have links to all the various pages to learn more about each of the individual
Wonderful.
events that are going on throughout the year.
You're very well organized.
Thank you.
I think it takes that. And I can tell you're dedicated.
Oh, yeah, this has been a dream and a passion
And
of ours for years.
It's when it's a dream, I hope it all comes to fruition. I think it will.
Thank you, Bobbi. Thank you.
really
We're really
do.
excited about it. We're really excited about the energy and the support the community has given. So we'd love to help grow that a bit more. And
There's a lot of music lovers in this area,
Absolutely.
that's for sure.
Absolutely.
I'm sure it's going to work.
yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Well, I want to thank you for coming today.
Oh, it's my
I have
pleasure.
learned so much.
Thank you,
And
Bobbi.
I just hope that our audience has too and piqued their interest. I mean, you've got to get those tickets for Opera on the River.
Well, absolutely.
That's one thing I cannot forget. And I know it'll be on the website and so on.
Absolutely. And
Okay.
we're working with NPR. You'll be hearing some
Oh,
things as well.
good.
That we're working on having them promote each of our events leading up to each one of them. So if
yeah.
you're an NPR listener, you'll hear
Yes.
about us online or on the air too.
Wonderful.
So, yeah.
Okay, so thank you again.
Thank you so much, Bobbi. Appreciate
And
it.
I want to thank our audience for listening today. I hope you'll come out and support this wonderful program. It's something I've dreamed of my whole life, to know more about it, and how delightful that it can involve children and students in the schools. So please, I hope you're going to enjoy this show and go ahead and participate. So thanks again for watching today.